Despite a wonderful start to the season and adding some squad depth with the signing of Kyle Walker-Peters, board restrictions and a slump in form have seen us drop to 7th place in the table. And after getting beat in the first leg of the Carabao Cup semi-final against Manchester United, we've got it all to do if we want to keep our first chance of silverware alive this season. But first, it's time to face the media. In our last episode, Crystal Palace faced some tough opposition, coming up against the likes of City, United and Arsenal, and despite seemingly dominating the citizens, we struggled to make use of chances going forward, and ultimately we got punished by the lapses in concentration. Having now entered January and having secured the signing of Kyle Walker-Peters, I'm here to drop yet another scout report, albeit smaller than the normal one due to limitations both financially and from the board. And the honourable mention goes to Terem Moffi. With the departure of Odegaard and the purchase of Solanke, we are not in need of another striker. However, if we are going to look to move on Mateta, I would stress the signing of Terem Moffi as a more than perfect replacement. Yes, since making his move from Bournemouth for a fee of £17.4 million, there can be no doubt that the 26-year-old Englishman was taking the Premier League by storm in his opening few months in a Crystal Palace shirt, scoring 10 goals in 20 appearances. But his form since then has well and truly slumped, and last episode he really struggled to find the back of the net. And whilst Mateta might have scored 1 goal in episode 1, since the arrival of Solanke, his confidence and morale has absolutely dropped through the floor. Only the 1 goal scored so far this season in 7 appearances, and it looks like the Frenchman could be looking for a route out of Crystal Palace. But there can be absolutely no doubt that this man Terem Moffi would add a completely new dimension to my attack. 6'2" and having absolutely lightning pace, something that none of my strikers have at the moment. He would be able to run down the channels and really cause defences absolute havoc in the Premier League. And with him being 24 years of age and 78 rated, he still has the best years ahead of him. However, despite me having £59 million in the budget, as you well know, the board put some restrictions on me last episode about how much I could spend of that budget this January. And with the arrival of Kyle Walker-Peters last episode for £10.5 million, and with Nice wanting a fee of around £25.2 million, it looks like the arrival of this man Terem Moffi here in January is going to be off the cards. Now, to be honest, with me already making not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 new signings so far in both transfer windows, to be honest, I'm slightly reluctant to provide any more upheaval to this already unsettled squad. So I'm going to give Mateta just 6 months left to try and see what he can do to resurrect this poor form and see if he does in fact have that something special and can still keep his place in the Crystal Palace squad. And as for Dominic Solanke, I'm not quite sure if it's just a lack of confidence from the young man or it's the poor performances of those around him, but I'm going to have to do something quick to try and see if I can resurrect the poor form of the 26-year-old Englishman. Might I suggest a tactical change if we bring in Daichi Kamada to play a 3-4-2-1 formation with 2 of our centre-forwards, who would be Fabio Vieira and Daichi Kamada. Our star boy Raksaki would play on the right midfield role, and either Merlin or Mitchell could come and play as left midfield with a tactical instruction to come back on defence. Now, to be fair, at the moment, with me playing this 5-2-2-1 formation, I don't think it's dramatically different from what we're already doing at the moment. Perhaps it is just a far more attacking setup. Now, as I know, Daichi Kamada is a heavy recommendation from so many of you. I will eventually be bringing him to the club. However, that is going to have to wait until the start of Season 2 because of the decision that all of you guys made wanting me to put my faith in this young man, Eze and Raksaki, rather than splashing the cash on a new central attacking midfielder this season. So if I do decide to go for this more attack-minded formation, as you can see, it does still mean that I will be leaving Raksaki in that pocket behind Dominic Solanke, but it also means that I'm pushing both he and Vieira up. I'm also pushing my wing-backs, Munoz and Tyrick Mitchell, far up the pitch as well. And with Daniel Munoz already scoring 6 goals and getting 5 assists from a right-back position, it really does go to show that he does have that attacking prowess that he can offer us further up the pitch. It might leave us a little bit defensively exposed, but with a real slump in form in the Premier League and a real big performance needed at Old Trafford against Manchester United in the second leg of the Carabao Cup semi-final, it is a huge risk that I think I am willing to take. It's going to be Mark Gay with the opportunity now to bring the ball forward for us as Anderson floats a lovely ball over to Mitchell on that left-hand side. Obviously so high up, has won the ball back, but then Raksaki's gone and given it away. Manchester United try and get forward here, and we don't manage to win the ball back at the second attempt. Malero, nice little pass into Casemiro, lovely ball through into Morata. We're overrun here at the back. Bruno Fernandes to score. Bruno Fernandes to give Manchester United a 1-0 lead here, 3-1 on aggregate inside the opening 12 minutes of this Carabao Cup first leg. Opened up at will at the back, and it just goes to show that perhaps all that defensive work from our earlier, more structured formation is beginning to become undone with this new tactical setup. Dean Henderson couldn't get out quick enough. 1-0 United. So it's Margay to bring this one away out to the right-hand side into Munoz. Has he got the opportunity to burst forward here? Yes, he does. And he skips past the challenge of Luke Shaw really nicely. He's got men in the box. He's got options. Can he find any of them? Throws it across to Tyrick Mitchell. Gets his header all wrong. Straight into the arms of Onana. So it's Decore under a bit of pressure. Gives it to Anderson. Anderson over to Gay. And Gay now over to Munoz on the right-hand side. Plays it across to Fabio Vieira. Having that extra man up front now is really helping us here. Into the box. Into Solanke. Back over to Raksaki. Dragged it wide. It's Casemiro now to try and burst through the heart of my midfield. Back into Malero. Bruno Fernandes into Morata. It's Anderson who comes across with a crunching challenge now. And we've got men up here to try and see if we can feed into, Solanke now has it. Looking for options. Looks like he doesn't need any options. Bursts into the box himself instead. And that is an absolutely brilliant goal to level the scores up here. Well, I said Dominic Solanke had the talent. He just needed that extra bit of confidence. And having the extra men up front in attacking areas is really proving pivotal for this young man. He got a little bit of luck, deflected off the defender. Ten Hag can't believe it. We are back in this game 3-2 on aggregate. So it's Decore now out to Tyrick Mitchell on the left hand side, unmarked, but he's got options of Raksaki up ahead of him, but it looks like he doesn't need him. Goes himself, plays it across into Dominic Solanke, full of confidence. Dominic Solanke! Oh my goodness! Within the space of 5 minutes, Dominic Solanke's got 2, and we are now level here on aggregates. Well, oh my goodness, he's clearly heard the talk at the beginning of the episode, and he's thought, right, no, I've had enough. I'm going to show what I can do here, and that is a contender for goal of the season, right on the edge of the box. Curved it round the goalkeeper. 3-3. Well, Crystal Palace are winning 2-1 here on the night at Old Trafford. It's 3-3 on aggregate, and now it is any teams for the victory here as Tyrick Mitchell tried to see if he can play it through into Raksaki. It was a dummy in the end. The left back continues his run and drags it wide. Well, that was a huge opportunity right at the end of the first half for Tyrick Mitchell there. Arguably, he should have just played it across for an unmarked Dominic Solanke, the man of the moment, who surely would have put it in the back of the net, but he saw his name up in lights, did the left back, but he couldn't quite turn that dream into a reality, and now United are still very much in this game. There's Lucas Vazquez into Amrabat. Nice little play here into Bruno Fernandes. Tries to lift it across, but Raksaki was there ahead of the defender, and now Tyrick Mitchell is released down this left-hand side and going forward now every single time. We've got so many options. It's into the box, goes Tyrick Mitchell, tries to play it across to Dominic Solanke, who took it on, tried to take it across into Vieira, couldn't quite reach him. Mitchell will get onto the loose ball again though, drives into the box. Can he play it across? This time looking for Solanke, who just volleys it wide. My goodness, he can't believe it. Lucas Vazquez is blocked off by Dominic Solanke, who wins it high, and just like that, this man has got his confidence back, plays it back into Raksaki. What a save. There's Adam Wharton, who's going to take the resulting corner. Once again, it's Crystal Palace here in the ascendancy across to Dominic Solanke, and this time he does find the back of the net, and he gets his 3rd goal of the game. He gets his hat-trick. Crystal Palace are leading here at Old Trafford 3-1. It's 4-3 on aggregate. Well, Solanke has been absolutely everywhere in the final third, and my word, if anyone deserves a hat-trick here today, it is that man. They tried to clear it off the line. They couldn't. It was too powerful of a header, and Dominic Solanke says thank you very much. Crystal Palace lead 4-3 on aggregate. It's Leon Bailey now to try and see if he can burst down this right-hand side, and he had the beating of Tyrick Mitchell. Decore comes across to try and challenge. Doesn't do a good enough job. Morata is blocked off by Anderson. What a huge game-saving challenge that was. It's Amrabat now for United to try and see if he can spark some sort of creativity into a lacklustre performance. They started off the opening 10 minutes in fine form, and since then their heads have completely dropped, and we have taken control of this game. But with just 1 goal separating the 2 teams on aggregate, we cannot let anything slip here as they try and find a way into our half. Some really good football, and they found a way out to the right-hand side into Lucas Vazquez, looking for an option, finds Morata. Morata's blocked off by Pacho, though. Really good defending. Decore brings it away into Raksaki. Dominic Solanke, of course, the man of the moment, looking for a ball over the top, manages to find Tyrick Mitchell, who plays it into Raksaki. Has the young man stayed on side? He has, but Onana is there first. So we've got about 5 minutes plus stoppage time here remaining on the clock for us to hold on to what will be a memorable victory here at Old Trafford, as our substitute left back Merlin is trying to drag the ball forward here and trying to play a wonderful ball into the channel, into Mateta, who's made the run. Mateta into the box, cuts it back, looking for Solanke, straight into the arms of Onana, but my word, potentially those 2 attackers combining well there. But with that attack being the last one of the game, that is right, Crystal Palace have done it. They have secured a memorable, historic victory here at Old Trafford. 3-1 on the night, and it means that we have beaten them 4-3 on aggregate, and Crystal Palace, thanks to that man, will be heading into the Carabao Cup final. It turns out it didn't go down as a hat-trick for Dominic Solanke. Instead, it was an own goal by the Manchester United defender for his 3rd, but as disappointed as he will be not to get the 3 goals, he'll be absolutely delighted to get himself back on the score sheet, and hopefully that can continue for the long term. And whilst it was a shaky start to the opening 10 minutes, I actually really felt so comfortable with this new tactical setup. setup. Every time I went forward, I seemed like I had extra men, and I looked so dangerous, and I felt like I was going to score. And with us securing our passage through to the final where we're going to be facing off against Liverpool, I'm going to stick with this new tactical setup in the hope that it can bring Crystal Palace Football Club glory. And as we speed on through the next couple of games, beating Sheffield United 1-0, but then becoming unstuck away from home against Brighton 3-2, and getting thumped by Chelsea at home 3-0, before only being able to secure a point away from home against Everton. Perhaps this new system isn't quite as good as I'd hoped. It looks like we're only down to 8th place in the table, and as you can see, our goals for tally really isn't matching up with the teams above us. I thought this system would give us more opportunity to pile players forward and give the likes of Dominic Solanke the opportunity to score far more goals, but since scoring 2 against United, it seems like he's only managed to get 1 more in the Premier League since then. And perhaps this system is actually more damaging to us defensively than it is helpful to us in the other attacking areas. And after such a positive performance though in the Carabao Cup semi-final against Manchester United, I am going to give this system one last chance to impress in the biggest stage of them all, at Wembley, in front of Crystal Palace and Liverpool fans here in the Carabao Cup final. It's our first shot of silverware this season, and Crystal Palace's first shot of a major piece of silverware in a very, very long time. I've stuck with the same starting 11 that did manage to get that memorable victory over Manchester United. Let's hope they've got one more positive performance left in them. It's McAllister for Liverpool now, out to the left-hand side to Andy Robertson. Can't go past Mark Gay, though. Really good defending from the young Englishman. He plays it forward into Adam Wharton. Adam Wharton now across into Pacho on the left-hand side. Pacho into Tyrick Mitchell. Plays it across into Decore. This is some really nice stuff here from Crystal Palace. Now into the path of Raksaki, and the young man can try and see if he can drive into the penalty area here. Has he got options up ahead of him? He does. Looking for a ball into Wharton. Oh my goodness, that is from back to front the best goal of the season I think Crystal Palace have scored. We'll talk about playing your way out of defence, talk about tiki-taka. It does not get much better than that. It started from the back and it ended with Adam Wharton with a thumping and looping header right over the goalkeeper into the top left-hand corner that gave Alisson no chance whatsoever. What a fabulous goal here at Wembley in the Carabao Cup final. It's 1-0. So it's Thiago for Liverpool, out to Andy Roberts on the left-hand side. Luis Diaz now back into Virgil van Dijk. Liverpool, I'm sure, will be absolutely shell-shocked here in the opening 10-15 minutes as to what they've just seen. Totally outplayed by Crystal Palace, and Adam Wharton now full of confidence wins the ball back once again in a really good position, and now he plays in Fabio Vieira, who onto his left tries to see if he can play a ball into Raksaki. It's into Raksaki, the young man. Oh my goodness, it is 2-0 Crystal Palace, and it is absolutely lightning up front. Adam Wharton once again started it, and Raksaki finished it. 2 young Crystal Palace Scarlets combining to absolutely provide a memorable moment once again here at Wembley. Liverpool cannot quite believe what they're seeing. It's Crystal Palace 2, Liverpool 0. The Liverpool now 20 minutes on the clock, have got an opportunity there. Now their first opportunity here to try and see if they can make something happen. It's thrown into the box, headed away though by Tyrick Mitchell, only out as far as Munoz, and he does head it down into the path of Raksaki. What options has he got up ahead of him? He's going to try and float a ball all the way over to Fabio Vieira, who almost got there ahead of Virgil van Dijk. There's Luis Diaz now looking for the overlapping run of Andy Robertson and does manage to find him. Robertson plays it back in front of Endo now, brings it forward into McAllister. This is really good play here from Liverpool, but Adam Wharton, my goodness, this man is on absolute fire here today. He's everywhere, and he's just won the ball back yet again, and now Munoz the right back can bring it forward. We've got so many options up ahead of us. Munoz though looking for the right one, tries to play it across, but Virgil van Dijk read it well, but we've got a corner for our troubles. And of course, who else is it going to be but this man, Adam Wharton, to take, and he's going to try and see if he can float it in, looking for Solanke on the edge of the 6-yard box. Alisson gets there first though. So it's McAllister now for Liverpool. This game is really starting to get stretched as Anderson tries to come across with a big thumping challenge, but doesn't win it back. McAllister now has an option on the left-hand side. Can he find one? Yes, he does. Luis Diaz tries to strike, but Anderson once again is in the right place at the right time. Pacho tries to play it out, doesn't clear it enough though, and now Mo Salah, the danger man, will come across, but Mark Gay with a really good challenge to bring it away. My word, Liverpool are pressing us so high here, but Gay just about manages to get the ball clear. Well, Liverpool are shell-shocked. I think that is the only word to describe what happened in the opening 20 minutes. However, they did start to find their feet and did start to find a route back into this game. They caused us a few problems at the back end of the half. We've just got to make sure that we keep our composure here in the second. It's Daniel Munoz now under a bit of pressure here as the Liverpool press starts to ramp up here, and the right back doesn't know exactly where to put this ball. Instead gives it to Anderson and draws out that Liverpool attack, and now we've thrown a wonderful ball over to Tyrick Mitchell on the left-hand side. He's going to try and see if he can play it across. It's a wonderful ball into Raksaki. Can the young Englishman get there first? He can, into Dominic Solanke, and once again we have carved open this Liverpool attack inside the opening 10 minutes of the second half. Well, we baited the Liverpool press and we beat it with aplomb, and Raksaki got there ahead of Alisson, who found himself in no man's land, realising that he wasn't going to get there with the pace of Raksaki, who just headed it down into the path of Dominic Solanke. Solanke, who was not going to miss from there. Fired it into an empty net. Somehow it's 3-0. It's Mo Salah now for Liverpool to take a free kick here with about 65 minutes remaining on the clock. They play it short into Dominic Szoboszlai on as a sub. Hummels now, but Pacho gets there ahead of the striker. Hummels, though, will try and go one-on-one with another centre-back. Thiago, though, into the box goes Thiago, and absolutely drills that one high and wide. Pacho, once again, under a bit of pressure from that Liverpool press, and this time we aren't able to bait it successfully. Instead, we lose it in a really dangerous position, and Jota now has it on the edge of the box here. Anderson's done enough to force him out wide, but into Mo Salah, back into Thiago, floats it across. This time Pacho makes amends and heads the ball clear, but not very far. Jota has it once again. Now, Anderson's doing everything he can, but he can't win the ball back. Thiago right across into McAllister. My word, he was inches away from getting Liverpool on the score sheet there. So it's Kyle Walker-Peters on as a substitute here, once again under a bit of pressure, but he has managed to get away from it. And now Decore can bring this one forward, and look, he's got so much space here. Raksaki now out to Merlin, the left back on with so much speed and stamina to get away from the challenge of Thiago, and he's got options in the box if he finds Kyle Walker-Peters, the other substitute on the other side, who forces Alisson into a save. Every single time we go forward, I feel like we're going to score here. This setup for me, actually playing the games, is working to fabulous effect here, as Merlin now has it once again on this left-hand side, looking to try and see if he can wiggle away, to try and see if he can float the ball in. He does. Looking for Raksaki at the back post, doesn't manage to find him though. Mo Salah into Jota. Jota out to Gravenberch. Gravenberch weaving away, manages to find Mo Salah, who's very central here, as Lerma tries to come across the challenge, doesn't able to though, as Szoboszlai loops his header just over the goalkeeper, and it just goes inches wide. But we are now deep into stoppage time here, as the referee surely is looking to his clock. It's only a matter of moments until Crystal Palace will find themselves lifting the Carabao Cup trophy, as Lerma brings it forward into Raksaki. Raksaki looks to try and see if he can bring it out wide, as the referee finally blows his whistle. The crowd go absolutely wild. The Crystal Palace players are flooding the pitch in celebration. We have done the unthinkable. We've beaten Manchester United en route to the final, and we've gone and beaten Liverpool 3-0 in the Carabao Cup final, to do something that no other Crystal Palace player has ever been able to do, and that is to call themselves the Carabao Cup winners, as Anderson, our unit at the back, lifts the Carabao Cup for the first time in his career and Crystal Palace's history, as the Crystal Palace fans and players have a moment to remember. Hopefully this is the start of many trophies you will see lifted here in this career mode. What a way to kick off Season 1. This attacking tactical setup may not look like it works on paper, but in reality it seems like it is performing to the absolute highest level. The AI may not be able to get a grasp of it, but every single time I play with this setup, I feel like I'm going to score every single time we go forward, as does this man Dominic Solanke, knocking up his 14th goal of the season. Eze and Raksaki had an absolutely wonderful performance once again in the final. His fantastic goal gives him his 8th of the season, with 5 assists to boot. But for me, the standout performance was of this man Adam Wharton. It's no surprise that the likes of Bayern Munich were interested in his services, but fortunately enough for me, I did manage to convince him to stay, and my word, if I hadn't, who knows what would have happened in the Carabao Cup final. A goal and an instrumental performance in the heart of my midfield was exactly what the young man needed. But does it mean at the start of next season there's going to be even bigger teams that are going to come sniffing around for his services? But for now though, with us officially being crowned Carabao Cup winners, next episode it's time to once again return our attention back to the Premier League to see if we can regain our form and try and pick up where we left off in the fight for European places. As for today though, that is that for the end of this episode. Thank you everyone for watching, I really do appreciate it, and hopefully I'll see you again next time.